Okay, today we're going to talk about expert home pricing. We're going to look at a property that I recently helped. I helped my brother sell. I'm going to take you through the process, and we're going to price the home as if we were doing it now. And I'll tell you a little story about why, when we started pricing and we did our my 7-day home sale method, we realized we should sell to Zillow. Okay, so let me pull up Zillow. If we haven't already, actually, we have not. So I should have had Zillow up. It's certainly more interesting to look at. Oh, I know why. It's because I have, because I'm a realtor and I use Zillow. I don't pay them anymore for marketing. I still use them. They market to me, so I have to go and do this in an incognito mode. Let me take down the steps here. Let me move the microphone a little closer in case that has been an issue. When you're, let's just start up from the beginning. Now, you can go to Zillow's Zestimate and type in your property. You should go to Trulia. I don't know. Trulia sends it to agents. You should go to Redfin, type in your property, get the price. Go to Realtor.com, type in your property, get the price. Those are not because they're necessarily going to be accurate, but because that's what people in the industry do. That's what buyers do. You need to know what's out there. If your property is worth more than those properties, in your marketing, you might want to explain why your home is better than the average home. Because my theory on this is that what these properties are doing for you is they're showing you the anchor price per square foot. Now, before, appraisers find an anchor property and comparing your property and contrast the property with that property to arrive at your price. But they also look at these other things. They look at these online valuation methods. And I know if you go to my website, instanthomeprices.com, there I just introduce you to CoreLogic. It's CoreLogic's app. My name's in it. I'll get your email, and know that you were there. But it will send you updates, and CoreLogic explains that their app is used by many, many banks. So the banks, when they're considering loans, your mortgage guys, when they're considering your loans, considering giving you a loan, before they have an appraiser, they go out to see where you're looking, whether they can lend on it, whether it's going to be enough equity. They use an app. They frequently use CoreLogic. So they're definitely going to use that. And I know when the appraisers are coming in differently, they have to work harder. They're aware of this. They know the banks are aware of it. The banks probably sometimes go to Zillow too. It's just the way real estate is. I know people hate it. They're like, but it's always wrong. Yeah. And Zillow says they're sometimes off by 6 to 8%. But it's the first step. So you've already done that. I don't think you need instructions on that. You just go to the website and say, I'd like to know how much my home is worth. Although they do sometimes hide that button. So anyway, go to Instant Home Prices. Let me just show you. It's my, here it is. You can see it's from CoreLogic. That's me up here. It's pretty interesting. The video talks about things right here. And here's you get started. And it updates. It shows you the competition. And sometimes it's super accurate. I know this CoreLogic app is relied upon by a lot of realtors, although I will say lately it hasn't been as strong as it was for years because prices kind of were shooting up and they were all over the place in the last few years. But it still shows you the competition, and I believe it's still the best one. But again, it might not work great for you. So now we're coming to the more important part. This is the thinking part, where you're judging where the competition is and what's going on in your market. Zillow's pretty good. Again, it's very important, and some of the other websites are really good at it. I like to know the price per square foot of properties like mine. I like to know if my property's a little older. I like to know what, I'd like to find some currently unrenovated properties and renovate non-renovated, fixer-uppers and renovated, and arrive at sort of like an average of the renovated property, an average of the non-renovated properties, and then see if mine falls in the middle. I know that my price is somewhere in the middle. That's one of the things I do. The other thing is, like right now, for instance, I sold this property for my brother. I should actually say he wound up selling to Zillow because I said that's what he should do. After we tried to sell this home, I'll get more into that in other videos, but I'll cover it quickly in a minute. But right now, if you were looking at condos in Carlsbad, if you were looking to sell a condo in Carlsbad, if you went in here and you clicked on the history, let's see if they still got it. They're selling it for a little bit more than the estimate, which makes sense. Here's the history. You'd see that in 11:15 it came on the market at 350. No, they don't even show it anymore. I came on the market at 330 because I was pricing it as a range, and I explained it in my marketing. But Zillow picked it up and dropped this estimate to 330 right away because they do that. They don't want to seem wrong, and they judge themselves. So if there's a big price change, they adjust prices quickly. So they seem to, well, let's see if maybe they'll show that still. If I go down, see more price history. Let's do that. Yeah, here it is. You'll see it was 330, but I was doing 330 as a starting price. Zillow changed my words. Like I don't know how they did it because I did this time they picked it up off the MLS and they changed my words. And the words I said, starting offers at 330. We're hoping to sell for more, but we'll consider 330. And at the time we thought that was a good price. So come this weekend, we gave a limited amount of time to come see it, and then we'll be soliciting offers. If you want to buy the property, this is your opportunity because my brother was leaving town and we wanted to sell it in one weekend. And boy, did we have some great price discovery that weekend. And we did get oral offers, which is all I was seeking at the time, and an email. And that's when my brother said, hey, let's sell it to Zillow. It makes more sense. But then when I noticed they brought the price down to 330, it's like, they can't do that. They took out my information. They just jacked the price lower. So I put it back at 350 and again, explained it was a range. This is when we decided to sell to Zillow. And then we sold it to them for 344. Now, I'll tell you right now, Zillow asked for 4.5% in commissions. And they didn't call it commissions. They call it like selling costs. But that's really, that's real estate commissions, right? And they wanted $4,000 or $5,000 for repairs because the property absolutely needed it. That was one of the reasons I was like, Matt, we cannot get this price, which was like, they put it on the market at 357. That's what a renovated property had recently sold for in the area. But what I learned that weekend from the professional buyers in the area, from the people who had 4 or 5 properties in the area, and almost all the buyers, is no one was thinking these were good prices. They were like, that was crazy. It was too high. I got offers from 300, 315, 320 from people living in the area. I had people who own 4 or 5 homes say, absolutely sell to Zillow. They're like, really? Zillow's off your mind? I go, yeah. Zillow offered them that much. Here is the offer. I printed it out. And they're like, sell it. I came back and I told Matt, we're selling it. I'm taking it off the market. And you can see after putting money in and refreshing it and doing what they're doing, they're selling it now. They're trying to sell for $1,000 more than they offered. They have costs. They have realtor expenses. And this property's been on the market for a while, but they're not revealing it. But down here, they do show days on market somewhere. That's interesting. Earlier today, they showed days on market. They might show days on market. Let's see if we can sort based on days on market. Newest. Okay, so again, though, they're not really showing. Well, they're always changing the interface, and I guess they present different interfaces to different people. For sale. Let's check out if the history will tell us. Listed for sale. Yeah, it was interesting pricing. So it was sold in 1620. It was listed for sale in 119. So you can see it's been on the market now for an uncomfortably long amount of time if you're used to things selling right away, especially in the lower price ranges in San Diego. We can do the same thing here. It used to just say right up there, like I instantly knew, time on Zillow, 68 days. Well, let's look at the pricing history. Well, they've tried to sell on and off last summer. And then 339, they've been on the market for a while. So now you've got an idea of the competition and the days on market. And, you want to develop a price per square foot so you can arrive at your pricing theories. And then based on that, like right now, okay, let's take a look at my brother's former condo. Where did it go? Okay, so it's here. So let's say you have a property in this development. You want to take a look and say, because they put in these countertops, looks like they painted the trim a little bit. I don't know. It looks better than it did. The floor is still old. It looks like they probably replaced the carpets. They definitely had to make some repairs because they pointed them out. I'm sure they did. And like I said, they put in these countertops. They made things look a little nicer. So if your property is inferior to this one in the development, doesn't look as good, hasn't been renovated as well, if you wanted to sell, you'd have to be lower priced in this property, with assuming rational buyers. Now, if you have reasons to believe your property's better, like you've got better floors, you've got newer carpets, you've got renovated or new cabinets, then you're like, well, this property's having a little selling, but mine is what buyers in this price really want, because they usually don't have a lot of cash to make the property look better. So I could come in higher than this. So that's, you're going to develop your maximum likely selling price, your fair market selling price, the fair market value. That's just using the online comps and comparing and contrasting to the comps, and then you can sort of also develop a listing price, a listing philosophy, understanding, like if you're going to work with a realtor, you want to ask realtors what the average sale of a home is compared to the list price. Because if your realtor is telling you to list at fair market value, and that's what most realtors do, almost every realtor does, and properties are selling at 97 or 98% of list price, well, then you know they're not even on average getting fair market value. So you need to know what number you'll expect and then price your home accordingly. Now, that's if you're working with the average agent. And that's what the next part of this course is about. If you want to go to the next step with us, what we believe is that you should have the very best agents in your area who've sold a lot of homes, who we determine together has a very good multiple offer process. And I think in today's market, because changes in law and car made, instead of just having, you can't have pre-MLS listings, coming soon listings if you're a real estate agent. So either it has to be done outside the real estate agent process, or I suggest that you work with your agent, or I help you talk your agent into having sort of like a home launch week where you do the great internet marketing, you put it on the MLS, you have it priced in a range, and you say showings on Saturday from 2 to 4, or showings on Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 4. Just compress it in there, get all the buyers in there, get the professional buyers in there, invite them to come make offers on your homes maybe an hour before that, and then tell the buyers if they're interested, you'll be getting back to every buyer Monday night and tell them where the offers stand and give them an opportunity to be the winning offer. And it's really that simple. It can be easily improved with strong agents who know how to shop offers. So you have a good strong one. It meets that threshold that you wrote to yourself secretly. Now you're here. You let your agent shop the offers however they want to do it. We have multiple ways to do it. They could do it one at a time. They could set up a round robin bidding process. We also, more important than ever now, you have to vet, because with the coronavirus and the market gyrating, you want to vet your buyers to make sure they're strong enough. They show enough money that you know the lenders are going to want to lend to them, and they're going to have the money to close on your property, and that they're really motivated to buy it. If you're selling a $1.5 million property to, let's say, a doctor who's got $400,000 or $500,000 down, most lenders want to keep relationships with doctors. Strong buyer. Let's say it's a stock trader who shows you $500,000 in their investment account. Well, there's two things. That trader might say, if I buy this home, I can no longer trade because I'm wiping out my now 30% lower investing account or 25% lower investing account. So that's the type of buyer. They'd really have to spend a lot more. You'd have to set it up so that there was a hard money deposit so they were incentivized to follow through. You would need a lawyer to lock that person down. I would defer to your agent or your own ideas about finding a stronger buyer who's likely going to qualify for the loans and have the cash. I'm not discriminating against stock traders. I love them. I used to be one 15 years ago, but they like their capital. They like their trading account when they go out and buy a home. The smart ones don't overdo it, so there's really super buyers normally. But when the market's tanking or going up and down, you don't know how good a trader they are. Maybe they're making the most money ever because really top traders make more money in a down market. But that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to sell your home. You're not trying to wonder if your buyer is going to perform. You want buyers that will perform. So we're going to talk about in the next lesson, selecting a great agent, making sure that agent uses a great process for you, selling for top dollar. And if you work with us in letting us help you find that great agent, and we have our ways of doing it. We have data, we call brokers, we talk to the agents ourselves, we find out if they align with your interest and the process you're interested in. We do your disclosures with you because that's the next step in the process. You go back, you fill out your disclosures. That was the previous step, sorry. And we find you a great agent, and we get a significant referral fee, which we will share with you. So if that's interesting to you, just go to the next module. The module that says set up the consultation with me, and we'll have a strategy session. We'll talk about how much you're looking. You're looking for a 50% referral fee of the listing side, just 30%. We'll talk to you about what you want and how we're going to achieve it, and then we can move forward from there. Or right so far you've invested in the course. You probably haven't put in a ton of money. You might want to go out and do it on your own. That's fine too. I'll talk to you later. Bye. John McConnin, winnerscheck.com. I'm an attorney and a broker in San Diego.